Once upon a time, in the prosperous kingdom of Vangara, there was a wealthy man named Shrigupta who lived in the grand village of Chakrapuram. Shrigupta was known for his immense wealth and his insatiable fascination with rare and precious objects. No matter how expensive an item was, if it caught his interest, he would go to any extent to acquire it. One day, as he sat luxuriously in his opulent mansion, admiring the vast collection of treasures he had accumulated over the years, a sense of immense pride and satisfaction filled his heart. He believed that these rare artifacts and precious gems gave his life true meaning, attributing his grandeur, fame, and recognition to the wealth he had gathered. While he was immersed in these thoughts, a merchant entered his mansion, carrying an assortment of fine and rare objects. The merchant, having traded in rare artifacts for years, had brought with him some of the most exquisite items he had ever acquired. He carefully displayed them before Shrigupta, confident that the wealthy man would not be able to resist their allure. Shrigupta's eyes sparkled with excitement as he examined each object with fascination. He admired their craftsmanship and beauty, expressing his delight at possessing such extraordinary treasures. Among the many rare items, the merchant hesitated before revealing one final artifact. He spoke of it with a mysterious tone, suggesting that it was an incomparable treasure, one that, once seen, could not be ignored. However, he expressed his reluctance to sell it, as it was too rare and precious. This only intensified Shrigupta's curiosity and desire. He insisted on seeing the object, growing increasingly eager to uncover what made it so special. Reluctantly, the merchant opened a small chest and revealed an emerald casket. The moment Shrigupta laid eyes on it, he was spellbound. Its beauty was unparalleled, its craftsmanship intricate, and its aura suggested an ancient and mysterious origin. His heart raced with excitement as he realized that this was no ordinary object. Convinced that his collection would be incomplete without the emerald casket, Shrigupta pleaded with the merchant to sell it to him, offering any price he desired. The merchant hesitated, warning him that the casket was not meant to be in his possession and could bring unforeseen consequences. But Shrigupta dismissed the warning, overcome with greed and desire, and acquired the casket at a great price. Days passed, and Shrigupta continued to admire his newfound treasure, feeling a strange sense of attachment to it. It was during this time that a young, intelligent man named Madhva arrived at his mansion, seeking employment. Madhva, possessing a keen eye for rare artifacts and a deep knowledge of their historical significance, sought work as an evaluator of Shrigupta's collection. Pleased by his expertise, Shrigupta employed him immediately. Over time, Madhva became Shrigupta's trusted confidant. One day, as they discussed the many rare treasures in his collection, Shrigupta expressed his deep fascination with the emerald casket. He spoke of it as the crown jewel of his collection, something that felt inexplicably new every time he looked at it. Though he had countless other valuable objects, his attachment to the casket was unmatched. Madhva, observing Shrigupta's obsession, sensed that the casket carried a deeper mystery. He cautiously suggested that there might be an untold story behind it, as such objects rarely find their way into possession without a history. Shrigupta, too, had often felt a strange restlessness whenever he thought about the casket. He agreed that uncovering its past was necessary and resolved to investigate further. Their quest led them to a dense forest, where they hoped to find clues about the casket's origins. As they ventured deeper, Madhva, feeling thirsty, went to a nearby pond to drink water, while Shrigupta stood alone, observing the airy surroundings. Suddenly, a chilling voice echoed through the forest, calling out for help. It was the voice of a woman, desperate and pleading. Shrigupta froze in shock. He could not see anyone nearby, yet the voice was clear and unmistakable. Confused and unnerved, he cautiously followed the sound, eventually arriving at a small hut. Inside, he found a beautiful young woman calmly sitting and cutting fruits, showing no sign of distress. Perplexed, Sri Gupta questioned her about the cries for help, but she claimed to have heard nothing. She insisted that she had lived in the forest for years and had never encountered such a phenomenon. Sri Gupta, though baffled, convinced himself that he must have imagined it. However, the following night, as they revisited the forest, the same eerie cries echoed once again. The pattern continued for days, and Sri Gupta's unease grew. A young woman named Charumati arrived at his mansion, trembling with fear. She had been living near the forest and recounted a series of terrifying experiences. Every night, she had heard a woman wailing for help, and it filled her with dread. She also spoke of a dream she had, in which she saw a sorrowful woman holding an emerald casket and weeping in silence. Sri Gupta was shaken. The emerald casket in her dream matched the one in his possession. Convinced that the casket was linked to the mysterious cries in the forest, he, Madhva, and Charumati resolved to uncover the truth. They decided to spend a night in the haunted forest, placing the casket on a small table inside Charumati's hut. As midnight approached, an unnatural atmosphere settled over the forest. The casket, which had been still moments before, began to glow with an airy light. A ghostly figure emerged, her sorrowful eyes piercing through the darkness. She revealed her tragic past. She had once been a woman cursed by a powerful sage, her soul trapped within the emerald casket and buried beneath a banyan tree. The merchant had unknowingly unearthed it and sold it to Sri Gupta. To break the curse, the owner of the casket had to sacrifice their life. Sri Gupta was paralyzed with fear. The realization that his greed had led him into this terrifying predicament left him speechless. The ghostly woman demanded his life as payment for her freedom. As he stood there, trembling, the glowing light suddenly faded, and Sri Gupta found himself waking up in his own bed. It had all been a dream. Shaken and drenched in sweat, he looked around to find Madhva standing beside him. His trusted companion spoke with concern, explaining that Sri Gupta's obsession with rare objects had clouded his judgment. His greed had nearly driven him into ruin, and it was time for him to let go of his dangerous desires. Sri Gupta, realizing the depth of his folly, was overwhelmed with regret. He had allowed his obsession with wealth to consume him, forgetting the true essence of life. Acknowledging his mistakes, he instructed Madhva to return all the rare objects in his collection to their rightful owners and donate the remaining treasures to an exhibition for public viewing. From that day forward, Sri Gupta renounced his blind pursuit of wealth and lived a life of righteousness and wisdom. He came to understand that wealth without morality was nothing more than poison,